So just before we get underway, we just want everyone to know you've got a fresh yard of cattle at 21. There'll be a fresh yard of cattle at 21.
Currently in camp, competitor number 1, Luke McEwen and Longmire. Comes in with a previous score of 88.5. Following Luke, be competitor number 2, Andrew Turvey, Donrika Devine. 3 will be Toby Bruce and Scout. 4 will be Darby Ryan and Solara Crawford. 5 will be Jay Hall, Hall's El Rosa. Score for our first competitor in this ADG contracting maiden final, Luke McEwen and Longmire, go out with a 22 on top of their combined score of 88.5 from the first round. We'll give them a 2-round total of 110.5. Out on course, competitor number 2, Andrew Turvey and Donrika Devine, building on an 89. Competitor 3, Toby Bruce and Scout should be in the camp. Stand by 4, Darby Ryan, Solara Crawford. 5 will be Jay Hall, Halls El Rosa. Score coming through for Andrew Turvey and Donrika Devine. 22 for cutout, 62 for horsework, 4 for the course. That's an 88 on top of his first round score of 89. Will give him a combined total of 177 for Andrew Turvey and Donrika Devine.
And we can tell you that Donrika Devine is owned by Gwen McMillan. I'm sure Gwen's here watching. She'll be loving to watch her mare go round. Hazelwood Conman mare.
Competitor number 3, Toby Bruce on Scout in the camp. Had a first round score of 88.5. Stand by competitor 4, Darby Ryan. 5 will be Jay Hall. 6, Beck Hayes. 7, Peter O'Neill. 8 will be Pete Comiskey. 9, Matt Holtz. 10, Ben Tapp. 11, Ryan Dillon. 12 will be Ben Williamson. Currently working in camp, competitor number 3, Toby Bruce. Had a first round score of 88.5. He's looking to build on that. Stand by, Darby Ryan, Solara Crawford. Following Darby will be Jay Hall, Halls El Rosa. Score for Toby Bruce and Scout, 21 only, on top of his first score of 88.5. We'll give him a 2-round total of 109.5. We'll just have a quick clean up of the camp and get on with competitor number 4, Darby Ryan. Solara Crawford had an 89 in the first round.
Okay, and we can tell you that Darby Ryan is riding Solar Crawford, owned by Jay and Kristen Pierce. And this particular gelding, is by Conman. So very shortly we'll be watching Darby Ryan and Solar Crawford, owned by Jay and Kirsten Pierce, Irvingdale. And I think he had a first round score of 89, is that right?
First round score of 89 for Darby Ryan and Solara Crawford. Following Derby will be competitor 5, Jay Hall, Halls El Rosa. 6 will be Beck Hayes, Shadak Mahalia. 7, Peter O'Neill and Toy Time. Out on course for Darby Ryan, Solara Crawford. Building on his first round score of 89. Stand by Jay Hall, Halls El Rosa. Waiting at the gate will be Beck Hayes, Shadak Mahalia. It's a 21 and 21 only there for Darby Ryan. On top of his 89, gives him a 2-round total of 110.
So next competitor in is going to be number 5, Jay Hall and Halls El Rosa. El Rosa is a 5-year-old mare. She's by Halls El Torrio out of Halls Rosen Romance. Won a futurity draft last year, started drafting this year in April, and has placed in maiden and novice camp drafts. So we wish Jay Hall and Halls El Rosa all the best.
In the camp, we have competitor number 5, Jay Hall and Halls El Rosa, looking to build on their previous first round score of 89. Following Jay will be competitor 6, Beck Hayes and Shadak Mahalia. 7 will be Peter O'Neill and Toy Time. 8 will be Pete Comiskey, Bungabarry, Amity. 9 will be Matt Holtz and Bailey's Lotus. 10 will be Ben Tapp and Supernova. Out on course, Jay Hall and Halls El Rosa, looking to build on their first round score of 89. In the camp should be Beck Hayes, Shadak Mahalia. Waiting at the gate will be Peter O'Neill and Toy Time. That's another completed course. Score to come through for Jay Hall. 21.5 for cutout, 63 for horsework, 4 for a course. That's an 88.5 on top of a previous score of 89. Gives her a 2-round total of 177.5. Beck Hayes in the camp, competitor number 6, Shadak Mahalia. Waiting at the gate will be 7, Peter O'Neill and Toy Time. 8, Pete Comiskey, Bungabarry, Amity. 9 will be Matt Holtz. 10, Ben Tapp. 11, Ryan Dillon.
It's competitor number 6 you watch, Beck Hayes, Shadak Mahalia, owned by Michael and Beck Hayes. Used to be Queenslanders, they live in Scone now. She brings an 88 into this round, an 88.
Out on course for competitor number 6, Beck Hayes and Shadak Mahalia. Building on their first round score of an 88. Stand by, Peter O'Neill, Toy Time. 8, Pete Comiskey, Bungabarry Amity. Score for Beck Hayes and Shadak Mahalia. 22 for cutout, 62 for horsework, 4 for the course. That's an 88 on top of a first round score of an 88. Is a 2-round total of 176 for Beck Hayes and Shadak Mahalia. In camp we have competitor number 8, Pete Comiskey. Peter O'Neill. And we're back to competitor 7, Peter O'Neill, Toy Time. He's building on an 89 from his first round.
And as Lloyd said, we're watching competitor number 7, Peter O'Neill and Toy Time, owned by Mark and Shelley Ruff. He's a 5-year-old gelding by one-time royalty out of Metallic Toy. This is a maiden horse. He's placed in opens and non-pro snaffle bit futurities in 2023. He comes in as an 80 with an 89. And of course, Pete and Tony both come from Springshaw, so we're watching Peter O'Neill and Toy Time.
Also think this is a combination, Leslie, that actually won the cutout for the maiden draft in the ADG contracting maiden. Into camp should be Peter Comiskey, competitor number 8, stand by, Matt Holtz and Barley's Lotus. 10, Ben Tapp, Supernova. 11 will be Ryan Dillon, Too Smooth. 12 will be Ben Williamson, Royanna, Con Lady. 13, Steve Comiskey, Acres of Trictical. Score coming through for Peter O'Neill and Toy Time. 22.5 cutout, 62.5 for horsework, 4 for the course. Gives him a total of 89. On top of his first round score of 89, gives him an aggregate total of 178. Pete Comiskey, Bungabarry Amity in camp, had a first round score of 88.5 they're looking to build on. Stand by, Matt Holtz. Barley's Lotus, following Matt will be competitor 10, Ben Tapp and Supernova.
And he's out on course, competitor number 8, Pete Comiskey with Bungabarry Amity, owned by D and P Steers. Of course, Pete comes from Nebo. Amity is owned by Bryony Puttycombe. It's a mare by Binia Ideal out of Grace. Had 3 starts and has a 3rd in the maiden at Claremont. So you're watching Pete Comiskey and Bungabarry Amity, and we'll have a score for him shortly.
Score for Pete Comiskey and Bungabarry Amity, 22 for cutout, 62.5 for horsework and 4 for the course. Gives him a total of 88.5 on top of his 88.5. Combined score of 177 for Pete Comiskey and Bungabarry Amity. In camp, we should have working competitor number 9, Matt Holtz, Barley's Lotus. Stand by 10, Ben Tap and Supernova. 11 will be Ryan Dillon and Too Smooth.
He's almost there. Yes, he is. He's out in the arena now. Competitor number 9, Matt Holtz and Bailey's Lotus. This is horses owned by Rama Downs Proprietorship Limited and has an 89 in the first round. Bailey's Lotus is a 5-year-old mare, maiden mare, and has an 89 from her first round.
And that's another completed course here in this ADG Contracting Maiden Final. We'll just wait for a score to come through from our judges, Ben Weller, Mr. Ben McNaughton. Matt Holtz had a 22 for cutout, 59 for horsework, 4 for the course. There's an 85 on top of his 89 from the first round. Gives him a 2-round aggregate of 174. In camp, competitor number 10, Ben Tap and Supernova. This combination had a 90 in their first round they're looking to build on. Stand by Ryan Dillon. 12, Ben Williamson. 13, Steve Comiskey.
Well, Lloyd, this combination has a very healthy score going into this final. Comes in with a score of 90. This is Ben Tap and Supernova, competitor number 10. Ben is a new local, lives here at Juandah.
And Ben Tap and Supernova take away a 22 cutout and 22 only on top of their first round score of 90. Gives them a 2-round aggregate of 112 for Ben Tap and Supernova. Number 11 in the camp, Ryan Dillon, Too Smooth. This combination also had a 90 in the first round they're looking to build on. Stand by Ben Williamson, Royana Con Lady. Following Ben will be Steve Comiskey, 14 Rob Durkin, 15 Wendy Powell, 16 will be Luke McEwen, 17 Wyatt Young, 18 Andrew Turvey, 19 Harry Steger, and 20 will be Robert Leach.
So you're watching Ryan Dillon and Too Smooth. Ryan tells us he's an 8-year-old gelding by Boon Too Soon. He's out of SP Smooth Request. He's a maiden horse, of course, and has made plenty of finals, though, and he is really a family favourite. And he's outside now, Ryan Dillon and Too Smooth.
Out on course for competitor number 11, Ryan Dillon and Too Smooth. Following Ryan will be Ben Williamson, Royana Con Lady, Stand by 13, Steve Comiskey, Acres of Tricacle. 14 will be Rob Durkin, Durkin's First Lady. Score for Ryan Dillon and Too Smooth, 21 and 21 only, on top of his 90 first round. Gives him a 2-round aggregate of 111. In camp, we're watching competitor number 12, Ben Williamson, Royana Con Lady. Had a 90.5 in the first round they're looking to add to. Stand by, Steve Comiskey.
And you're watching Ben Williamson with Royana Con Lady. This is Ben and George Williams' nomination. It's a 10-year-old mare by Conman out of Lady Duck. Ran second in Longreach Maiden in 2025 and a 5th in a novice in 2025. So recently started, Ben Williamson, Royana Con Lady. We'll give you a score shortly.
By the looks of that, I think it's going to be a very healthy score too, Leslie. For Ben Williams and Royana Con Lady, 21.5 for cutout, 64.5 for horsework, 4 for the course. That's a 90 on top of his 90.5, and that will give him a 180.5 and puts him up there in the lead. In camp, we're watching competitor number 13, Steve Comiskey. Acres of Triticale, working on an 88 from the first round. Stand by 14, Robert Durkin, Durkin's first lady.
And he's outside, competitor 13, Steve Comiskey, Acres of Triticale. You can come and tell us if that's not right, Steve. And it's owned by Bill and Christine Matten. This combination comes from Capella and, as Lloyd said, comes into this round with an 88.
And that's another completed round for Steve Comiskey and Acres of Triticale in this ADG contracting maiden final. The score for Steve, 23 cutout, 63 for horsework, 4 for a course. That's another 90 on top of his 88 from the first round, gives him a 2-round total of 178. In camp, competitor 14 will be Robert Durkin and Durkin's first lady, building on their 88.5 from the first round. Stand by 15, Wendy Pound, 16, Luke McEwen, 17, Wyatt Young, 18 will be Andrew Turvey, 19, Harry Steger, 20, Robert Leach.
And he's out on course. Competitor number 14, Robert Durkin, with Durkin's first lady. This is Wendy's mare. And, of course, Robert comes from Baralabar. I'll have a score shortly.
Robert Durkin and Durkin's first lady go out with a 21 and a 21 only. 88.5 in the first round and will give him a 2-round total of 109.5 for Robert Durkin. Competitor 15 in the camp, Wendy Panel, Takona Red Robin, had an 89 in the first round. They're looking to build on. Stand by 16, Luke McEwen, Durkin's Stylish Charlie.
Well, we've just seen Wendy ride this horse. She just had to run the ladies off, which I'm sure makes this one of her more favourite horses. But you're watching number 15, Wendy Pownell, Tacoma Red Robin, owned by Wendy, who of course comes from Monto. He's a gelding by One More Playboy. He's out of Tacoma Storm Checks, so homebred horse. He has won a Novice Hunter Stockman's Challenge, so not any particular draft, but a Stockman's Challenge. So he's here in the maiden, and he comes into this round. He comes into this round with a score of 89.
Unfortunately, they're not going to be able to add to the 89 today either, Leslie. They'll go out with a no score. 89.2 round total. We'll just clean the camp up here. Competitor 16 will be Luke McEwen, Durkin Stylish Charlie. Stand by White Young 17, Henry's Jezebel. 18 will be Andrew Turvey, Cats and Cons. 19 will be Harry Steger, Stewart's Anthea. 20 will be Robert Leach, Shirley Shiny. 21, Sam Campbell and Banshee Peter Pan. 22 will be Zane Habman, One of a Kind, Too Stylish. We're currently watching competitor 16, Luke McEwen, Durkin Stylish Charlie, building on a 90.
So this is a home-owned horse, Durkin Stylish Charlie. He's 6 years of age and a gelding by One Stylish Pepto out of Hazelwood, Chelsea. He's purchased at Nutrien as a 2-year-old and kept him as he's a much-loved horse in their family. He's had 3 seconds and some placings. So we wish Luke McEwen and Durkin Stylish Charlie all the best as he heads into this round with his 90 from the first round.
And that's another completed round by Luke McEwen and Durkin Stylish Charlie. in the ADG contracting maiden final here. These Willinga pastoral cattle are not letting us down in the final here today. They're running hot. Score for Luke, 22 for cutout, 62.5 for horsework, and 4 for the course. That's 88.5. On top of his 90 from the previous round. Gives him a 178.5, 2-round total. In the camp, looking over his cattle, competitor 17, Wyatt Young and Henry's Jezebel. Standby 18, Andrew Turvey, Cats and Cons. 19 will be Harry Steger, Stuart's Anthea. 20 will be Robert Leach, Shirley Shiny. 21, Sam Campbell, Banshee, Peter Pan. 22 will be Zane Hubman, One of a Kind, Too Stylish. We will have a change of camp, I do believe, at 21. Fresh yard at 21.
And we're watching competitor 17, Wyatt Young, with Henry's Jezebel, owned by Libby Henderson. This combination comes from Tamworth, and as Lloyd said, comes into this next round with a total score of 89.5, 89.5. And unfortunately, he's not going to be able to add to that. And he goes out with an 89.5.
We'll just have a quick tidy up of our yard. Competitor 18 will be in the camp, Andrew Turvey and Cats and Cons. Standby 19, Harry Steger, Stuart's Anthea. 20 will be Robert Leach, Shirley Shiny. 21, Sam Campbell, Banshee, Peter Pan.
We have Andrew Turvey in the camp, just overseeing the change there. We've just taken one out. And Andrew is riding Cats and Cons. This horse is owned by Andrew and Courtney Turvey. It's a 9-year-old mare. It's by Hazelwood Conman out of Cats and Roses. And, of course, is a maiden camp draft mare. So all the best to Andrew with Cats and Cons.
Currently in the camp, we're watching Andrew Turvey, Cats and Cons. Massive effort by Andrew Turvey and all the Willinga Pastoral co-crew here to put all this show on. As he said, it's a big job, 6 months in the making.
Yeah, Lord, I think some people don't really understand just how much work goes into this. I've got a little flatmate up there. They've been very kind to let me share with one of the workers here while I'm staying at Juandah, and her alarm goes off at 4:30 every morning, and she's off to feed a potty and off to go and get some of these cattle in. She gets back quite late in the afternoon after they have put cattle away. So a very big thank you. I know they are paid for this, but also a very big thank you to the Juandah staff who put the effort in to ensure that we all have a great week of drafting.
How right you are there, Leslie. On course, Andrew Turvey, Cats and Cons. Had an 88 in the first round. Another completed full round for Andrew Turvey and Cats and Cons. Score coming through for you shortly, Andrew. 22 for cutout, 62 for horsework, and 4 for the course. That's an 88 on top of his first round score of 88. Gives him a grand total of 176 for Andrew Turvey and Cats and Cons. 19 in the camp will be Harry Steger, Stuart's Anthea. Standby 20, Robert Leach, Shirley Shiny. 21, Sam Campbell, Banshee Peter Pan.
So 19 we watch Harry Steger with Stewart's Athena. This combination comes from Camberwheel. Stewart's Athena is owned by Kenny Bright. She's a maiden mare and by Hazelwood Flight Command.
Out on course for competitor 19, Harry Steger and Stewart's Anthea. 88 in the first round, looking to build on that. Stand by 20, Robert Leach, Shirley Shiny, 21, Sam Campbell. Score through there for Harry Steger and Stewart's Anthea. 16 for cutout and 16 only. On top of his first round score of 88, gives him a 2-round aggregate of 104. Competitor 20, Robert Leach and Shirley Shiny, currently working in the camp, building on their first round of 88, looking to add.
Shirley Shiny is owned by Peter and Marie Rogan. She's a mare, she's 11 years of age. She's by Very Smart Remedy out of Shirley Shine. And you've probably heard her name a number of times. She's a winner of over $100,000 in reigning cow horse events, and she's a multiple Stockman's Challenge winner.
Score for Robert Leach and Shirley Shiny, 22 and 22 only. On top of his first round score of 88, gives him a 2-round total of 110. Let's have a quick change of cattle, and we'll move on with competitor 21, Sam Campbell and Banshee Peter Pan. Had an 89 in the first round, this combination. I'm sure he'd like to add to that.
Yeah, so it's Sam Campbell we watch with Banshee Peter Pan. This horse is owned by Gwen McMillan. And Gwen is a very big supporter of our horse industry, and I believe she's here this weekend. So great to see Gwen here. Great to see her coming along and watching her horses run. I'm sure she's getting plenty of enjoyment out of it. And Sam comes into this round, as Lloyd said, with an 89.
So looking through his cattle, competitor 21, Sam Campbell, Banshee Peter Pan, looking to add to his 89 from the first round. Stand by 22, Zane Haberman, one of a kind, too stylish. 23 will be Matthew Moffat, Stars Go Blue. 24, Ewan Smith, Banara Vogue. 25 will be Louise Comiskey, Dreams Conducted. 26 will be Barry Johnson, Madeline. 27, Ben Tappan Bill. 28, Megan McIntosh, Stratton Guest Imperial. 29 will be Jason Comiskey and Connie. 30 will be Pete Knudsen and Times One More. We're watching competitor 21, Sam Campbell, in this ADG contracting maiden final. Stand by 22, Zane Haberman, one of a kind, too stylish. At the gate should be 23, Matthew Moffat, Stars Goes Blue. 24 will be Ewan Smith, Manara Vogue. 25, Louise Comiskey, Dreams Conducted. It's another full completed course for Sam Campbell, Banshee Peter Pan. Wait for our judges to score through from Mr. Ben Weller and Ben McNaughton. Sam Campbell and Banshee Peter Pan had a 22 for cutout, 58.5 for horsework, 4 for the course. That's an 84.5 on top of their first round score of 89. Gives them a 2-round total of 173.5. Sam Campbell and Banshee Peter Pan. Currently watching competitor 22 in the camp, Zane Haberman, one of a kind, too stylish. Had a 90 in the first round. Stand by, Matthew Moffat, Stars Go Blue.
Out on course, Zane Haberman, one of a kind, too stylish. This horse is owned by Zane and Kerry Haberman from Springshaw. Zane and Kerry have just run their Mostly Hills camp draft, and I believe it went off very, very successfully. Great to see them here at the Bullinga at Juandah Plains camp draft this week.
That's another completed course. This ADG contracting maiden final for Zane Haberman, one of a kind, too stylish. Zane Haberman at a 22, 61 and 4. Gives him an 87 on top of his first round score of 90. It's a combined 2-round total of 177 for Zane Haberman, one of a kind, too stylish. 23 in camp, Matthew Moffat, Stars Go Blue. 88 in the first round. Stand by 24, Ewan Smith. 25, Louise Comiskey. 26 will be Barry Johnson. 27, Ben Tapp. 28, Megan McIntosh. 29, Jason Comiskey. 30 will be Peter Knutson. Currently watching Matthew Moffat, competitor 23 in Stars Go Blue. Looking to add to their 88 from the first round.
And he has called for his gate and he's out on course. Matthew Moffat and Stars Go Blue. This horse is owned by Abe Graham. He's a 7-year-old stallion by Once in a Blue Boon out of Amaru Easy Spin.
Score coming through for Matthew Moffat and Stars Go Blue. 21 and 21 only. On top of his first round score of 88, gives him a 2-round aggregate of 109. Competitor 24, Ewan Smith in the camp. Banara Vogue looking to add to an 89.5 from the first round. Stand by 25, Louise Comiskey, Dreams Conducted.
And Ewan heads out onto the arena with Banera Vogue. This is owned by Ewan and Colleen Smith, an 8-year-old mare by Tazza and Smart out of Banera Charity, well-known mare charity. It's multiple challenge placings, won a futurity camp draft and had numerous camp draft placing. So we're watching Ewan Smith and Banera Vogue.
Score coming through for Ewan Smith and Banara Vogue. 21.5 for cutout, 21.5 only. On top of his 89.5, gives him a 2-round aggregate of 111. 25 in camp, Louise Comiskey, Dreams Conducted. Stand by 26, Barry Johnson, Madeline. 27 will be Ben Tapp on Bill. 28, Megan McIntosh, Stratton Guest Imperial. 29 will be Jason Comiskey and Connie. 30 will be Pete Knutson, times one more. We're currently watching competitor 25, Louise Comiskey and Dreams Conducted. Looking to add to their 90.5 they had in the first round, this ADG contracting maiden final.
And she's outside competitor 25, Louise Comiskey and Dreams Conducted. This is Louise's own horse. And of course, this combination comes from Capella. And as Lloyd said, comes into this second round with a total score of 90.5. She's certainly on her way for some more points, we hope. 90.5 in the first round.
It's another completed round for Louise Comiskey and Dreams Conducted. Score coming through. Score for Louise Comiskey and Dreams Conducted, 15.5 for cutout, 61 for horsework, 4 for the course. The total of 80.5 on top of a 90.5 in the first round. Gives her a 2-round aggregate of 171. Louise Comiskey and Dreams Conducted. 26 in camp, Barry Johnson and Madeline come in with an 88.5. Stand by, 27, Bill Tapp.
And if you've just logged on to the live stream, you're watching the ADG Contracting Maiden Draft Final. Barry heads out into the arena. Competitor 26, Barry Johnson and Madeline. This is Barry's own nomination, and the combination comes from Hewenden.
You're watching competitor 26, Barry Johnson, Madeline, looking to build on their 88.5 for the first round. We'll just wait to hear from our judges here, Mr. Ben Weller and Ben McNaughton. Score for Barry Johnson, Madeline, 21.5 for cutout, 62 for horsework, 4 for the course, gives him an 87.5. On top of his first round score of 88.5, a grand total of 176 for Barry Johnson and Madeline. In camp, we have Ben Tapp on Bill, competitor 27. Had an 89 in the first round. Stand by 28, Megan McIntosh, Stratton Guest Imperial. 29 will be Jason Comiskey and Connie. 30 will be Peter Knudsen, times one more. 31, Matt Holtz. Hunterview, Hard Hat Max. 32 will be Ben Williamson's Bailey Ricondo. 33, John Templeton and Diva. We're currently watching competitor 27, Ben Tapp on Bill. 89 in the first round, looking to add.
And his call for his gate. Out on course, competitor 27, Ben Tapp and Bill. This combination comes from Juandah. He is a new local, just moved in here and bought a little block. And he comes into this final round with a score of 89.
Score coming through for Ben Tapp and Bill. 21.5 cut out and no further score. On top of his first round score of 89, gives him a 2-round aggregate of 110.5 for Ben Tappan Bill. 28 in the camp will be Megan McIntosh, Stratton's Guest Imperial. First round score of 89.5, they're looking to add. Stand by, 29, Jason Comiskey and Connie.
And she's out in centre arena. Competitor number 28, Megan McIntosh, and Stratton Just Imperial, owned by Terry Hartman and Megan McIntosh. This combination comes from Warra. And 89.5 in her first round.
Score for Megan McIntosh, Stratton Guest Imperial, 22.5 cut out. 56.5 for horsework, 3 for the course. Gives her an 82 on top of her 89.5, 171.5, 2-round aggregate for Megan McIntosh. In the camp, competitor 29, Jason Comiskey on Connie. Had an 89 in the first round, they're looking to build on. Stand by 30, Peter Knutson, times one more.
So Connie is an 8-year-old mare owned by Cody Ann Comiskey and Ann Comiskey. This mare is by Conman out of Pussy Skills. Connie has won numerous juniors and junior challenges with Jason's daughter Cody. So well-loved mare. Comes into this round with a score of 89.
So at the completion of this ADG contracting maiden final, we're going to go straight on with the maiden for maiden. And those presentations will be done once the maiden for maiden and maiden final have been run. We'll do them together. Lawrence will ask me, the outright winner, if you could come up to the office at the completion of this final. Score through for Jason Comiskey and Connie, 23 cut out, 59.5 for horsework and 4 for the course. That's at 86.5 on top of their first round score of 89. 2-round aggregate of 175.5 for Jason Comiskey and Connie. Competitor 30 in the camp, Pete Knutson, times one more. Looking to build on their 88.5. Stand by 31, Matt Holtz. Hunterview, Hard Hat Max, 32, Ben Williamson, 33, John Templeton, 34, Scott Edwards, 35 will be Harry Steger, 36, David Reeder, 37, Wyatt Young, 38, Sam Campbell, 39, Dean Rogers. Currently watching competitor 30, Peter Knutson, times one more.
Times one more is owned by Turney Burke, and this combination of Peter and times one more comes from Chinchilla.
Score for Pete Knutson and times one more, 23 cut out and no further score. The 23, 88.5 in the first round, gives them a 2-round aggregate of 111.5 for Pete Knutson and times one more. In camp, we have Matt Holtz, competitor 31, riding Hunterview Hard Hat Max. Coming in from the first round with an 88.5. Stand by 32, Ben Williamson, Barley's Recondo.
Matt Holes is riding Hunterview Hard Hat Max, owned by the Moy family, 6-year-old gelding, and of course is a maiden camp drafter. I'll just confirm there. Matt's not a maiden camp draft, just a maiden horse.
Currently in the camp, we're watching Matt Holtz and Hunterview Hard Hat looking to add to the 88.5. Standby 32, Ben Williamson's Barley's Recondo. 33 will be John Templeton and Diva. And that's a 22 and 22 only for Matt Holtz, Hunterview Hard Hat Max. On top of his 88.5 in the first round. Gives him a 2-round aggregate of 110.5 for Matt Holtz and Hunterview Hard Hat Max. In camp, we have Ben Williamson's Competitor 32, Barley's Recondo. Ben's second entry. 2 horses in the final.
As Lloyd said, you're watching Competitor 32, Ben Williamson and Bailey's Recondo, owned by Ben and Georgie Williamson. It's a 5-year-old gelding by El Condo. He's had a 5th overall in the Future Stars final in 2024. He's had cut-out wins and multiple placings. And we do ask some of the competitors for their advice with camp drafting. And Ben tells us to keep an eye out on what the cattle are doing, warm your horses up good and watch good competitors. So there's a bit of advice for you.
Some good advice from a great competitor, Ben Williamson. Barley's Recondo out on course, looking to build on their 88 from the first round. Standby 33, John Templeton and Diva. 34 will be Scott Edwards. Score for Ben Williams and Barley's Recondo, 21.5, 21.5 only. On top of his first round score of 88, we'll give him a combined total of 109.5. Competitor 33 in the camp, John Templeton and Diva. This combination also had a 90.5 in the first round. Standby 34, Scott Edwards, Solara Twiggy. 35, Harry Steger, Dotmar Consweed. We're currently watching Competitor 33, John Templeton and Diva.
So Diva is owned by Beau and Emily Frame. She's a mare and by Acres Destiny. It's an Acres Destiny mare. Comes into this round with a 90.5.
Out on course for John Templeton and Diva. Standby 34, Scott Edwards, Solara Twiggy. 35, Harry Steger, Dotmar Consweed. Score coming through for John Templeton and Diva, 22.5 and 22.5 only. On top of his first round, 90.5. Gives him a 2-round aggregate of 113 for John Templeton and Diva. Competitor 34, Scott Edwards, Solara Twiggy. Currently in the camp looking over his cattle. This combination had a 90 in their first round.
Solar Twiggy is a 7-year-old gelding by One More Daddy. And some great advice there from Scott as well. He says ride safe and have fun.
Out on course for Competitor 34, Scott Edwards and Solara Twiggy. Looking to add to his 90 from the first round. 35 should be in camp, Harry Steger. Standby 36, David Reeder. 37, Wyatt Young. 38, Sam Campbell. 39, Dean Rogers. We're currently watching competitor 34 in this ADG contracting maiden final. Score coming through for Scott Edwards and Solara Twiggy. 21 cutout, 41 for horsework, 2 for the course, that's a 64. Combined with his first round score of 90, gives him an aggregate of 154 for Scott Edwards and Solara Twiggy. In camp should be competitor 35, Harry Steger, dot mark and Swede. Harry's looking to build on his 89 from the first round.
So Dotmark and Swede is a mare by Conman, ridden of course by Harry Steger here at number 35, owned by Travis Cozier, and this combination hails from Camberwell.
On course, competitor 35, Harry Steger, dot mark and Swede. Building on his first round score of 89, standby 36, David Reader, Kit Kat. Waiting at the gate will be 37, White Young, Banshee, Conchita. Score for Harry Steger and dot mark and Swede, 22.5 for cutout, 62 for horsework, 4 for the course. That's an 88.5, combined with his first round score of 89, gives him a 2-round aggregate of 177.5, Harry Steger. Looking over his cattle in camp, competitor 36, David Reader and Kit Kat. Looking to build on his first round score of 88. Currently watching competitor 36, David Reader and Kit Kat.
And he's almost there. He's called for his gate and he is out on course. Competitor 36, David Reader, Kit Kat. This is David's own nomination. David hails from Baramba. He's a great supporter of camp drafting in southeast Queensland. He's also a avid supporter of Willinga Camp Draft as well as Juandah Camp Draft, and I believe and I know he's done some judging for the crew down there at Willinga as well. So we welcome David Reader and Kit Kat into this final. He has an 88.
There's a Land Cruiser wagon parked up next to the sponsors' tents. Registration 812 WOS. Up on the grass, just on the northern end of the sponsors' tent there. Lauren's asked if you could please move that as soon as possible. That'd be great. Plenty of parking out the back. If you need to find it, drive around, have a look along the other side of the Bitchman Highway. But if you could move that, that'd be great. Score for David Reader and Kit Kat, 21 cutout, 60 for horsework, 4 for the course. Gives him an 85. On top of his 88 first round score, a combined total of 173 for David Reader and Kit Kat. 37 in the yard, White Young, Banshee Conchita. Had a first round score of 88. Standby 38, Sam Campbell. Banshee Fancy Who, 39 will be Dean Rogers and Impact. We have 3 competitors to run in this A, D and G maiden final. Then we'll go straight on with the maiden for maiden final. 15 competitors in that. And at the completion of the maiden for maiden final and maiden final, we'll do the presentations in the arena together.
And we watch competitor 37, White Young and Banshee Conchita, owned by Young and Elias. This is a Tamworth combination. We've seen White quite a number of times. He has quite a few horses here this week. And he comes into this particular round with an 88.
Out on course, competitor 37, White Young, Banshee Conchita. Stand by, 38, Sam Campbell. 39 will be Dean Rogers. We still have a white wagon parked on the grass next to the sponsor's tent. If you could move that as soon as possible, be muchly appreciated. Score for White Young, Banshee Conchita, 22 for cutout, 63 for horsework, 4 for the course. It's an 89 on top of his first round score of 88, gives him an aggregate total of 177 for White Young, Banshee Conchita. Watching competitor 38, Sam Campbell in the yard, Banshee's Fancy Who. He's looking to build on his first round score of 88. Stand by, Dean Rogers. You'll be our final competitor in this A, D and G maiden final. Then we'll go straight on with the maiden for maiden final.
And he's outside. Competitor 38, Sam Campbell, riding Banshee Fancy Who. This horse is owned by Gwen McMillan. It's been bred by Sam and Sarah, as that is their prefix. Gwen knows a good horse. She's been able to actually get 2 horses here into the final. She'd be very proud of that. And we watch Sam Campbell, Banshee Fancy Who.
You're watching competitor 38, Sam Campbell, Banshee Fancy Who. Score coming through for Sam Campbell and Banshee Fancy Who. 22 cutout, 54 for horsework, 3 for the course. It's a 79. On top of your 88 from the first round. 2-round combined total of 176 for Sam Campbell and Banshee Fancies Who. Move on to our final competitor, this AD&G Maiden Camp Draft. We've got Dean Rogers and JP Impact. 88.5 in the first round, they're looking to add to.
So JP Impact is a 12-year-old gelding by Acres of Impact. Ridden, of course, today by Dean Rogers from Bega. And as Lloyd said, comes into this round with an 88.5. Last but not least, all of these competitors were very close, and so it's never over till it's over. So all eyes on Dean Rogers and JP Impact.
Out on course for our final competitor, this AD&G maiden final, Dean Rogers, JP Impact, building on his 88.5. As soon as we've completed this maiden final will go straight on to the Maiden for Maiden. Score for Dean Rogers and JP Impact, 21 for cutout, 21 only. Combined with his first round score of 88.5, gives him a 2-round aggregate of 109.5. Dean Rogers and JP Impact. So I'll just read out some winners and place getters shortly here. We get some paperwork sorted out.
No one present. Just need the winner down here with Tyler.
So the winner of the 2025 ADG Contracting Maiden Final, first place we have Ben Williamson, Royanna Condolady on a 180.5. Second place, Luke McEwen, Durkin's Stylish Charlie on a 178.5. Equal third and fourth, Steve Comiskey, Acres of Triticale, Peter O'Neill on Toy Time, Jay Hall, equal fifth. Halls El Rosa, equal fifth to Harry Steiger, Dot Mark and Swede. Equal seventh to 10th, we Pete Comiskey, Amity, Zane Haben, One of a Kind, Too Stylish, Andrew Turvey, Don Rika Devine, and Wyatt Young, Banshee Conchita. So I'll just go through our winners and place getters again. We will do the presentation at the completion of this Maiden for Maiden final. Ben Williamson, we will need you up near the secretary's box.
Where the camera is beside the cutout.
Where the camera is beside the cutout, Ben Williams, if you could make yourself known there. We'll just have a quick short break here and get our yard sorted before the Maiden for Maiden final.
We are here live with our ADG Contracting Maiden Camp Draft winner here at Willinga at Juandah Plains. Ben Williamson, congratulations. You came in on an equal lead and knew that you had to make a run today, and absolutely amazing, 90 points. Tell me about that run.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what cow to take, and it just stood out the last minute and took it, and little mare worked good for me. Yeah.
You went in at draw number 12, so that actually was left there for you. I bet that was a relief.
Yeah, it was. Yep.
I'm here with your beautiful wife, Georgie, as well. Georgie, can you tell me about that horse, Royanna Conlady?
She's out of one of our really good open mares, Lady Duck by comment, so it's pretty special. Yeah.
How does it feel on this big stage? Have you won a camp draft before on a stage this big?
No, not this big. Yeah, I've always wanted to win something big like this.
Anyone you need to thank?
Everyone, sponsors. Yeah, Andrew for such a great job he's done here. Yeah, everyone's helped me along the way.
Well, congratulations, guys. We'll see you again in that presentation lineup here shortly. We're going to go back and watch the live action for the Maiden for Maiden.
And congratulations there to Ben Williams, winner of our maiden camp draft here today. On a 185, congratulations, Ben Williams. Second place we had Luke McLuhan, Durkin Stylish Charlie here to 178.5. Equal third to fourth was Steve Comiskey, Acres of Chichikali on a 178. Peter O'Neill on Toy Time on a 178. Equal fifth and sixth, Jay Hall, Halls El Rosa on a 177.5. Harry Steger, Dot Mark and Swede on a 177.5. And we're currently underway with our first competitor, Tiana Russell, Metallic Playboy. Maiden for maiden final, clean slate final.
So Metallic Playboy is owned by Anthony Gotch. He's an 8-year-old gelding. His sire is Metallic Jaguar and his dam is WR Chocolate. He's a maiden and with multiple finalists. So Tiana was purchased by Michael Reid last night in the Calcutta. Of course, we've got that Calcutta running on this maiden for maiden final. And Michael Reid purchased Tiana for $400. So some incredible prize money there for the winners and place getters of the Maiden for Maiden.
Score in for our first competitor in this maiden for maiden final, Tiana Russell, a Metallic Playboy, 21.5 for cutout, 53.5 for horsework and 3 for the course, a total of 78 points. In camp we have working competitor number 2, Natalie Shea, Wallinga Park, Gleams Destiny.
Natalie was purchased by Scott Shea for a price of $500 in the Calcutta. Now that Calcutta has been broken up into 80% prize money and 20% for the Meals on Wheels, Juandah Meals on Wheels. So we raised $2,700 for Juandah Wheels on Meals. We have a $5,500 for first place. Second prize will be $3,300 and third prize will get $2,200. So some great money there earned in that Calcutta, and we do know that the Meals on Wheels are very grateful for their new freezer.
Yes, it's good to see everyone chipping in and digging deep. Great thing, the Calcutta last night. Money raised for a good cause. Score through for Natalie Shea, Wallinga Park, Gleams Destiny, 20.5 cutout, 55 for horsework, 3 for the course, gives her a 78.5. Currently on course, competitor number 3, Sam Harbison, Wallinga Park Sampson. Stand by, competitor 4, Charlie Dearden. 5 will be Gavin Ware. 6 will be Danielle Palmer. 7, Tom Barnes.
So Sam was purchased by Christensen Cattle for $2,200.
Also Sam, he's done a hell of a job here this weekend, part of the Wallinga crew. And Sam goes away with a 21 and 21 only for Sam Harbison and Wallinga Park Sampson. Stand by, competitor 4, Charlie Dearden, Machete. Waiting at the gate will be 5, Gavin Ware, Destiny's Player, 6, Danielle Palmer. Dress Me Up, 7, Tom Barnes. Get This Look. Charlie Dearden, Competitor number 4, a Machete.
So Lloyd Charlie was purchased by Outstation Water for $1,950, and of course some big prize money here at stake with that wonderful donation of $2,700 to the Meals on Wheels at Juandah.
Outstation Water, great sponsors. Great to see them getting involved in the Calcutta too. Charlie Dearden and Machete on course. Competitor number 4, standby 5, Gavin Ware, Destiny's Player. 6 will be Danielle Palmer, 7 Tom Barnes, 8 will be Terry McGuirter. Out on course, we're watching Charlie Dearden, competitor number 4, Machete in this Maiden for Maiden final. Proudly sponsored by COBB Contracting and Western Wide Earthmoving. Score for Charlie Dearden and Machete, 14.5 cutout, 53 for horsework, 3 for the course. This is 70.5 for Charlie Dearden and Machete. In camp, we should have competitor 5, Gavin Ware, Destiny's Player. Standby 6, Danielle Palmer, Dress Me Up. 7 will be Tom Barnes, Get This Look. 8 will be Terry McGuirter.
Outside we watch competitor 5, Gavin Ware, riding Destiny's Player, and he was purchased by JLH Cattle for $1,800.
Gavin Ware lines one up and puts it through the gate. Score coming through for Gavin Ware and Destiny's Player. 21.5 for cutout, 62 for horsework, 4 for the course. That's an 87.5. In camp, we should have competitor 6, Danielle Palmer, Dress Me Up. Standby 7, Tom Barnes, Get This Look. 8 will be Terry McGuirter, Seri Zambezi. 9 will be Shana Worsfold, Destiny Sonata.
This is Danielle's own nomination, Dress Me Up. She is a 7-year-old mare by Time's Up out of Miss Spin Cindy Oak. She's a maiden mare. And Danielle was purchased by Western Wide Earthmoving for $1,250.
Western Wide Earthmoving are also sponsors of this Maiden for Maiden. So we thank you for your support. Score in for Danielle Palmer and Dress Me Up. 20.5 and 20.5 only. Competitor 7, Tom Barnes. Should be in the camp. Get This Look. Standby 8, Terry McGuirter. Tom Barnes and Get This Look. Looking over his cattle. Another one of the Willinga Pastoral crew.
Outside for Tom Barnes, riding Get This Look. He was purchased by Jeanette Snow for $1,850.
Out on course, competitor number 7, Tom Barnes, and get this look. Stand by, competitor 8, Terry McGuirter. Waiting at the gate should be 9, Shana Worsfeld. 10 will be Helen Groves. Score coming through for Tom Barnes, and get this look. 22 cutout, 35 for horsework, and 2 for the course. Gives him a total of 59. Competitor number 8 in the camp, Terry McGuirter, Series Zambezi. Looking over his cattle, stand by 9, Shana Worsfelds, Destiny Sonata. 10 will be Helen Groves Minibar.
Outside there for Terry McWhirter riding Surrey Zambezi. He was purchased by Sam Williams for $1,000. A great cause here, Lloyd, with the Juandah and Meals on Wheels prize donation for the freezer for $2,700. Incredible work looking after our community. And of course, that prize money there. First prize, $5,500. Second prize, $3,300. And third prize of $2,200. So some great prize money, some great money raised last night in this Calcutta.
Yeah, it's good to see everyone get in and get behind a great cause. Great support. Currently in the camp, you're looking at Shana Worsfeld, Destiny Sonata. Score coming through for Terry McGuirter and Siri Zamble. 21 cutout, 47 for horsework, 3 for the course, which gives him a 71. And we're currently watching competitor number 9, Shana Worsfeld's Destiny Sonata. Stand by 10, Helen Groves Minibar. 11 will be Tiani Gavin, Black Mascara. 12 will be Charlie Dearden, Black Doug. On top of the Calcutta last night, we also had the Singap 1 auction, raising money for Singap 1 research and awareness. Raised $5,700 in that auction last night, which was great to see.
Absolutely unbelievable, the community at the camp drafting. So here we have Shana Worsfold riding Destiny Sonata. She was purchased by Braden Doherty for $1,000.
Shana Worsfold, another local competitor. Destiny Sonata. It's one through the gate. Score coming through for Shana Worsfold and Destiny Sonata shortly. Score for Shana Worsfold, 20 for cutout, 60 for horsework, 4 for the course. That's an 84 for Shana Worsfold and Destiny Sonata. In the camp, we should have competitor 10, Helen Groves and Minibar. There's 15 competitors in this Cobb & Co contracting and Western Wide earth moving maiden for maiden. Under the watchful eyes, our judges, Mr. Ben McNaughton and Ben Weller.
Helen was purchased by Michael Hayes for $800 in the Calcutta last night.
Out on course, you're watching Helen Groves and Minibar, competitor number 10. Just have a correction for Tom Barnes' score on Get This Look. He was competitor number 7. He had a 22 cutout, 37.5 for horsework and 2 for the course, which gave him a total of 61.5. So that was a correction on the score for Tom Barnes and Get This Look. You're currently watching Helen Groves and Minibar, competitor number 10. Stand by, Tiani Gavin, 11, Black Mascara, 12 will be Charlie Dearden, Black Doug, 13 will be Danielle Palmer, 007, 14 will be Gavin Ware, It's About Time, 15, Nairi Lewis, Little Bob. Score in for Helen Groves and Minibar, 14.5 for cutout, 39 for horsework, 2 for the course. That's a 55.5 for Helen Groves and Minibar. In the camp should be Tiani Gavin, Black Mascara, competitor number 11. Stand by 12, Charlie Dearden and Black Doug. 13, Danielle Palmer. 14 will be Gavin Ware. Last but not least, Nari Lewis, Little Bob, be our final competitor of these 15 Maiden for Maiden finalists. Cobb and Go Contracting and Western Wide Earth Moving, Maiden for Maiden.
So Tian Gavin, we watch in camp. She's on her way out the gate. She rides a horse called Black Mascara. Now, Shamil Livestock. It's a 14-year-old mare. She's by Kirkby Stud Sport out of a Dam Spanish Acres. She's a maiden mare ridden by the family. Tian was purchased by Aidan Elliott for $300. And she's got some great highlight here is becoming more confident from all the friendly competitors' advice and tips. And I think, Lloyd, we find in this camp draft community so many people willing to help out and help our Maiden for Maiden riders with lots of advice and great tips. So
it's good to see the support from the other riders, these Maiden for Maiden riders. Haven't won a draft. Score in for Tiani Gavin, Black Mascara, 20.5 for cutout, 36.5 for horsework, 2 for the course, total of 59. Number 12, Charlie Dearden, Black Doug. Stand by 13, Danielle Palmer. 14 will be Gavin Ware. 15 will be Nari Lewis.
So Charlie was purchased by Outstation Water for $1,950, Lloyd. And of course, we've got that amazing prize money here. $5,500 for first prize, $3,300 for second, and $2,200 for third. Now, the Juandah and Meals on Wheels were very happy with their $2,700. I believe they've already purchased their freezer. So what a great result.
Score coming through for Charlie Dearden and Black Doug. 14 and 14 only. In the camp, we should have Danielle Palmer, 007. Stand by Gavin Ware. 15 and our final competitor will be Nari Lewis. At the completion of this maiden for maiden final, we'd like all winners and place getters in the maiden and maiden for maiden final. We'll have the presentations in the arena at the completion of this maiden for maiden final. After the presentations, there'll be a drag and a short break. We get ready for the open final.
We are watching Danielle Palmer in camp riding 007. She was purchased by Western Wide Earthmoving for $1,250. This horse is owned by her husband Darren Palmer. It's an 18-year-old gelding. He's by Instant Dulce out of an unknown dam, and he's a maiden.
Score in for Danielle Palmer and 007, 20.5 for cutout and 20.5 only. In camp, competitor 14, Gavin Ware on his second entry. Gavin Ware, and it's about time, looking over his cattle. There are two competitors to go, this maiden for maiden final. At the completion of this maiden for maiden final, we would like all winners and place getters of the maiden and the maiden for maiden final. Hang around, we'll have the presentations in the arena. Then we'll have a short break. Drag the arena to get underway with our open camp draft final.
So Gavin was purchased by JLH Cattle for $1,800.
Out on course, Gavin Ware, and it's about time. Into the camp. Nari Lewis, Little Bob. She'll be our final competitor, this maiden for maiden final. Gavin Ware, and it's about time. Go away with a 15 and 15 only. Nari Lewis in camp, Little Bob looking over a cattle. See our final competitor, this maiden for maiden. Cobb & Co Contracting and Western Wide Earthmoving sponsored this maiden for maiden final. Also bought a few riders last night at the auction. We thank you very much for your generous support.
Outside for Nari Lewis riding Little Bob. I believe she might be being purchased by her daughter Jordan Lewis for $650. I've just got Jordan here, but I assume that could be her daughter. This is our final competitor in the maiden for maiden. Of course, that Juandah and Meals on Wheels got that one for $2,700. We have $5,500 for first place. Second place, $3,300, and third place, $2,200.
Score for Nari Lewis and Little Bob, 20 and 20 only for cutout. We'll just have a short break and get some official results. So all maiden winners and place getters, we will be having the presentation in the arena. Also the maiden for maiden presentations will be done at the same time. Then we'll have a short break, drag the arena, and we will be underway with our open camp draft final. So our top 6 place getters for the Cobb & Co Contracting and Western Wide Earth Moving Maiden for Maiden. First place we have Gavin Ware, Destiny's Player, on an 87.5. Second, Shana Worsfeld, Destiny's Sonata, on an 84. Third place will be Natalie Shea, Wallinga Park Gleams Destiny, on a 78.5. Fourth will be Tiana Russell, Metallic Playboy, on a 78. Fifth will be Terry McGuirter, Series Amble, on a 71. And sixth place will be Charlie Dearden and Machete on a 70.5. So they're our top 6 winners and place getters of our Cobb & Co Contracting Western Wide Earth Moving Maiden for Maiden. If we could have Gavin Ware come up and find Tyler, she'd like to have a talk to you.
Okay, so the Calcutta. Let's look at who have been the winners of that. So in first place, Gavin Ware riding Destiny's Player, and JLH Cattle were the purchasers of that for $1,800. So Rani and Josh, you've won $5,500 for first place. In second place was Shana Worsford riding Destiny's Sonata, and Braden Doherty. You are now $3,300 richer. And in third place was Natalie Shea riding Wallinga Park Gleams Destiny. So Scott Shea, you've won yourself $2,200. Thank you to everybody who participated in the Calcutta last night.
We are live on the arena floor here at Wallinga at Juandah Plains with our Cobb Contracting and Western Wide Earth Moving Maiden for Maiden winner, Gavin Ware. Congratulations, you're no longer a maiden rider. How does it feel to win an event on this big stage here at Juandah?
Unreal, mate. It's an unreal show. Yeah, it's been a long time coming. I keep getting seconds, and I was like, it's never going to happen. But to happen here at a place like this, no better win. So, unreal.
Well, now you've got a novice horse on the truck as well. Tell me about this little mare, Destiny's Player.
So she belongs to Lindsay Penny. She's a one-time player. She's a real cowy little mare. She's only a little mare, but she's got a big heart, eh? And she always runs to a cow really good.
You ran an 87.5 to secure that win today. Can you please talk us through the run?
Yep, no, that was, I had that cow pick when it come in, and I thought I was pretty happy and pretty confident with it. And yeah, the mare didn't let me down.
Well, congratulations, Gavin. That's all from us here at Super Saturday. Stay up on the hill and watch all of the action in the wind.